Yeah, mate, can I get 2 Guinnesses, please?
Yeah, hang on a second. Just got to go down and change the barrel.
Reg, Ron, the Richardsons were unexpectedly engaged, so we're going to look after you.
Oh, it's all right. Our landlord's going to change the barrel for me, thanks. You don't mind if I pour myself a pint, yeah?
What is that?
Yeah, what do you think, Puff? It's a fucking tool.
No, it's not. It's a fucking rolling pin. Who are you, Fanny Craddock? What are you gonna do with that? You gonna bake me a cake? You gonna sing me a song, watch me blow out me fucking candles? I come here for a fucking shootout, right? A proper shootout with some proper men. Like Colonel Custer and Geronimo. Have you ever heard of them? No. Because you were too busy in your pinny baking fucking fairy cakes, weren't you? Rich, this lot of fucking nonsense to a man. They're fucking nonsense. Get out me fucking way. Go on, get up. Go on, fuck off. Call yourself a fucking gangster. A shootout, right, is a fucking shootout! Like a western. Wankers. Fucking embarrassing. Waste of our time. Fucking waste of our time.
Oh, your brother's done a runner.
Nah, he's just genuinely disappointed with it, that's all.
Tom playing both characters, that's been something very special to watch.
It's amazing, firstly looks-wise, how him and the makeup have together created the subtle differences. It's actually astounding, he really does look like both of them.
Right from the get-go, we wanted to make sure that we kind of gave a different look to each one of them. Reg was kind of him, just more expressionable, sort of a bit warmer. He's got to be the love interest of the film.
Not being funny here, but the thought of your mum answering that door is a bit shocking.
Ron, we sort of played about with dropping his hairline a bit to kind of round up his face, powered him up just to kind of make them look a little bit more sinister. I've had a prosthetic piece made for his mouth that sits inside here. It's all about making him bigger.
A toast to my beautiful brother, home at last.
What they're achieving with camera use and the cinematography of it has been incredible. But also Tom and how he's managing to build a fraternal relationship with himself.
You're not afraid of anything.
Yeah. You're running myself, you know. And you.
Yeah.
We'd rehearse it until we had it nailed, and then we would record Ron. And when we shot Reggie, we would play Ron's dialogue back in Tom's ear so he could react to himself, and he could interrupt himself, which brought it alive.
Oh, we were talking about being gangsters, right? Which is what we are.
Reggie's performance very much would establish what the scene was, and then Ron would have to come in and kind of duck and dive around that.
It was so full on, everyone's putting in their input on how to make this illusion work. And there were so many opportunities there to see behind the curtain that is the same person. It was how to make that alive, so it didn't become a gimmick. And then I had to incorporate our ensemble and our team so that it was alive for everybody.
Don't you ever speak to Frances like
Yeah,
that again.
that's right, Francis. Blood is thicker than water.
But forget all of the technical stuff. If the actor hadn't been able to pull off being two completely different people, then it wouldn't have worked.
He gives his life to the film. He gives his life to the characters. The way he can do it and the way he approaches it, I think they're more important to him than he is. I've been around a lot of good actors, but I've never seen that level of commitment. And what he gets back is this incredible performance.
Listen to yourself, Ron. You're fucking nuts!
People who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
Tom will come in as Reggie, and then we'll shoot the scene with him as Reggie, and then he'll go away for an hour and come back as Ron, and it's unbelievable. Like, the transformation is ridiculous. To the point that when he's doing a scene as Reggie, I'm just like so comfortable and happy. And as soon as he comes in as Ron, it's always a bit like, oh, I don't like Ron very much. The story is definitely about Ron and Reggie, and it's definitely their film. It's definitely Tom's film. But it is told through Frances's eyes.
I was always very curious about Frances as a character. So many people had just dismissed Frances. And I met Chris Lambriano, who was a member of the firm, and I spent a whole day with him in the East End. And I said to Chris finally at the end of the day, what can you tell me about Frances? And Chris said, oh, Frances, she's the reason we all went to prison. And when he told me that, I knew how to write the movie then. It was like one of those great moments of eureka.
Here was a classic gangster movie, but with the narration being told by a female character. We've rarely seen that before.
I was there, and I'm not careless with the truth.
To tell the story from a woman's point of view would allow more of an examination of their characters.
And we found it very hard to find the person who would pull that off until we found Emily, who had not just the perfect look for Frances, but also the acting ability and the subtlety to inhabit a character who is hiding a lot of anguish.
You know, one of these days, Ron Kray, your miserable life will swallow you whole.
Emily came in. I had one meeting with her and Tom where they just sat and had coffee and told jokes, basically. And I think you know if two actors have chemistry very easily. And just seeing the two of them together, I thought that was going to work.
She met Reggie when she was 16. They dated for quite a while and then got married, and were only married for sort of 8 weeks.
She gets caught in a triangle between these two chaotic characters who are deeply dysfunctional.
Ron's jealous of her because it's taken Reggie away from him. Their marriage can't move along because Ron is kind of the third person.
It becomes a fight between his twin brother and his wife.
My loyalty for my brother is how I measure myself.
What about your loyalty to me?
There was definitely a part of him that would have loved to have been free of the gangster world, but a bigger part of him thrived on it.
You're a gangster. You love being one.
What she loves about him is that he's different, but what makes him different is quite terrifying. But that just is him, and that's his world.
I like the money and I like the respect of being a club owner.